You've been lied to. Thanksgiving Day is a massacre that supports Native American genocide. When you think of Thanksgiving, you probably imagine the Pilgrims and Indians sitting together with a giant turkey and breaking bread. But the truth is, this never happened. That's because the first Thanksgiving was a massacre. While many cite back to the autumn of 1621, when natives and pilgrims celebrated the autumn harvest as the first Thanksgiving, first actual Thanksgiving was in 1637. And that's because Massachusetts Bay Colony Governor John Winthrop declared it a day of Thanksgiving after the massacre of native people. Hundreds of Pequot men, women, and children were slaughtered in what is now Mystic, Connecticut. And after this was done, John Winthrop declared it a day of Thanksgiving. And it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln, the president that took lands away from tribal members to give to settlers to further his railroad, and also was responsible for the largest mass execution in United States history, which was of 38 Dakota members. Yep, he's the one that declared Thanksgiving as an official holiday in the United States. So how could you celebrate the somber day of Thanksgiving respectfully? I'm not telling you can't have turkey or spend some time with your family. Maybe start your meal with a land acknowledgement. Use resources like nativeland.ca or the app and website Whose Land to see whose land you're currently occupying. Look into Native American groups and causes that you could donate to. Support Native American activists, authors, and chefs. Take some time to learn about Native American causes or what issues are currently facing Native American people. Native Americans currently make the least amount of any other group of individuals. Our women are experiencing an MMIW crisis. Many natives live in food deserts and don't have access to clean water. And Native Americans have unequal access to both health and mental health services. So on Thanksgiving Day, aka a day of mourning, remember that Native Americans are still here and to acknowledge the truth and history regarding this holiday.
Guys, when you go on YouTube, you go on TikTok, you go on Google and search the history of Thanksgiving, trust me, you'll see thousands of videos all saying the same thing about the history of Thanksgiving. But let's look at it in another light. Hey beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So credit goes to the creators in these videos. And guys, people explain the same story again and again, talking about who arrived, talking about who helped who, talking about the peace treaty, talking about the big feast. Many of us have heard it before, and that is why in this video, let's look at it from another light. Instead, let's talk about Thanksgiving today, because history tells us about how everything started, but it doesn't tell us about how people feel now. It doesn't tell us about the fact that now life is different, bills are higher, stress is higher, many people live far away from family, some even live alone. And the question is, does Thanksgiving still feel like a celebration today? Or does it feel like pressure, stress, or just a normal day, right? Many people prepare, their dinner table full of turkey, mashed potatoes, decorations, prayers. And many people are saying that Thanksgiving now feels like a financial challenge. Some people say they don't want to spend money or just to look happy for the holidays. Maybe this year, Thanksgiving is not just about tradition. Maybe it's about reality. Maybe it's not about looking into what happened in the history, because many people have the opinion that they are just grateful. They just want to be grateful for being alive. And social media is full of different opinions about Thanksgiving. That's why it's decided to look deep down into the history. Okay, let's dig deep. Let's go down the rabbit hole. What is actually the history of Thanksgiving? These other creators have a lot to say. Let's dig into it. Let's see what they have to say. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you soon.
I was talking with one of my relatives about why I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and the first thing they said was that Thanksgiving suddenly became controversial. And I think there are a few folks who feel that way, so let's talk about it. It was really common to celebrate Thanksgiving, especially in elementary school. The adults would have half the students dress up as pilgrims and the other half dress up as Native Americans, which at the time we still called Indians. The kids dressing as pilgrims would make little hats out of construction paper with big old buckles on the front, and then the kids dressing up as Native Americans would make headdresses out of construction paper, and back then it was just innocent fun. So when did it all become political? Well, I hate to tell you, it's always been political, and it was always problematic and disrespectful. Imagine what it would be like for little children to grow up learning that it's okay to dress up as a caricaturized stereotype version of your community while reenacting a propagandized twisted narrative of your community's most deep historical trauma. A lot of peoples don't have to imagine that. That's actually still curriculum in a lot of places in the United States. And it's not like we've been celebrating Thanksgiving since the founding of this country. It's something that was invented by President Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. You know, the war over states' rights to continue doing slavery. In the middle of that, President Abraham Lincoln declared a national day of Thanksgiving to bring the country together over good food, great stories, lies and propaganda. This created a twisted historical narrative of the original peoples of the United States, welcoming settlers and colonists with open arms while willingly giving up their land, their rights, and their personhood. And that's just not what happened. When Thanksgiving became a holiday, indigenous people did not have the right to citizenship, they did not have the right to vote. They were barely a generation removed from the forced displacement and relocation that historians now call the Trail of Tears. In other words, indigenous people did not have any say in their own lives or in the narratives about their people and their histories. Today, indigenous people continue to be under-resourced, face disproportionately high levels of violence, and land treaties continue to go disregarded in the United States. And today, due to the tireless, relentless, and dedicated advocacy of indigenous communities and organizations, there has been increased awareness and acknowledgement about indigenous people's history and humanity. And accordingly, this increased awareness has helped many people to understand that the history of Thanksgiving is problematic to say the least. Thanksgiving and the way that it's taught is not about celebrating anything real. It's about furthering historical propaganda and false narratives that portray indigenous people as being grateful for all of the violence and harm that they experienced, or worse, bringing it upon themselves, or worse, that they don't even exist anymore, and that's just not true either. And it overshadows the real, lasting, generational harm and violence that was done to indigenous people in the United States. The Wampanoag and Chappaquiddick nations in the northeast of the United States still exist today, despite all of the harm and violence that the Pilgrims perpetrated onto them. And for many of these communities, Thanksgiving isn't a celebration, it's a day of mourning. You can visit the Wampanoag and Chappaquiddick Nation's website to learn more about them, and by going to native-land.ca, you can learn whose land you're on, learn more about the people, and even consider providing reparations. Take an active interest in learning more, and if there are young people in your life, try to interrupt this cycle of propaganda and harm. Collective learning and healing is the way forward, and the only way that's going to happen is if we replace propaganda with the truth.
I feel history is important, right? History is very important, and it's always very, very good for us to educate ourselves. I mean, to know the reasons why many things happen. But in all of it, I still feel that as long as you're alive, you gotta be grateful, okay? If you want to celebrate it, it's perfectly okay. And if you think your reasons for not celebrating it are valid enough, why not? We are all entitled to our opinions. And some people are still excited about this. Even if they are saying that the money is tight, they say they will cook something small because they believe Thanksgiving is about gratitude, not about how big the meal is they will try and enjoy with their family. And others are saying that they are feeling the pressure of the society, the holiday feels forced, their bank accounts say otherwise. And a lot of people have the opinion that some Native American voices are saying that Thanksgiving is a day of mourning, not celebration, because for them it represents pain, loss, forgotten history. Yes, all these things are valid, and they want their side of the story to be heard. And somebody said maybe being honest about life is better than pretending all is fine, right? Going to smile at tables with, families that you have not seen for a long time, that have not even called you in a year. The last time they saw you was the previous Thanksgiving, and now it's the new year, it's another Thanksgiving, and they are seeing you, and they wouldn't even call you or check up on you until the next Thanksgiving. So many people have the opinion that they wouldn't sit around the table with fake friends and smiling fake smiles. They will not do it. So all those feelings are great, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about how you are celebrating, or how you are not celebrating, or how exactly you view the history of Thanksgiving and how it should be celebrated going forward.
Do you celebrate Thanksgiving? Well, let me tell you what you're actually celebrating. Thanksgiving isn't about peace and gratitude like they told us in school. The truth is, the word Thanksgiving was born out of bloodshed. After white colonizers came to this land, they massacred indigenous people. They stole their land and held a feast to celebrate their victory. The so-called Thanksgiving wasn't about unity and bringing family together. It was about erasing people and rewriting history to make it sound good. White settlers were not giving thanks to God for blessings. They were giving thanks for taking lives and land that did not belong to them. So the next time you sit down at that table and start to eat for Thanksgiving, remember, Thanksgiving at its core represented genocide, massacre, stolen land, the killing of indigenous people, and stolen culture. And if we want to honor truth, we can't keep ignoring the real history. But now you know the real meaning of Thanksgiving.
Yep, we know, and all those reasons are very valid. But this year, maybe Thanksgiving is just not about repeating the old history. Maybe it's about asking our own questions, because it's always good to ask your own questions so that you can come up with your own conclusion and make decisions for yourself. Maybe the question is, what am I truly thankful for when everything feels difficult? Maybe the question is, do I celebrate because of tradition or because I have hope? And again, can quiet gratitude be stronger than a loud celebration? Because history teaches us where Thanksgiving began, right? And our feelings today will only shape where it goes next. And maybe that's just the real story people need to hear right now. Not just how Thanksgiving started, but how people are living it today, guys. I need to know your thoughts about this. It's a very controversial topic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. And if you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.